Basketball fans, what's going on? I'm your host, Jimmy Crowther, and today I'm breaking down a little bit of news, but a lot of trade rumors that you're going to want to stick around for to check out because we got a lot to talk about. We'll start off with Zion Williamson here, who has left the NBA bubble to tend to an urgent family matter. Now, first and foremost, we obviously hope that everyone in his family is safe and healthy, but this could be very detrimental to the New Orleans Pelicans as he could miss as many as 10 days whenever he returns to the bubble. And we don't even know when he's going to be back because he just left. No word as to when he will return. Now, this year, in just 19 games played, Zion's been averaging 23.6 points per game, over 6 rebounds, and he's shooting better than 46% from three. Now, a little asterisk next to that three-point percentage, he's only attempting 0.7 three-point shots per game, so not that many. But here's the deal with players leaving the bubble. When a player leaves, if they leave for less than a week, they still have to quarantine in their room for 4 days as long as, with all 4 days, they have negative tests. Now, let's say Zion's gone longer than a week. He has to stay in his room for 10 days. And those 10 days last as long as he's getting, or if he's not getting those required tests. And they all come out positive, well, we don't know how many games Zion could miss. And the Pelicans do hope that he's back for their playoff hopeful run as they'll go into those 8 games. But if he misses those first 4 games, which isn't all that unlikely, these are the 4 toughest games on the Pelicans' remaining schedule. You've got the Utah Jazz, who are the 5th seed in the Western Conference, the 4th seed in the Western Conference, and the Los Angeles Clippers, who are the 2 seed in the West. And then you got the Memphis Grizzlies, who have that 8th seed right now, followed by the Sacramento Kings, who, well, let's be honest, nobody's really worried about the Sacramento Kings right now. But if Zion misses any of those first 3 games, the Pelicans are going to have a little bit of a struggle. So, again, we all hope that everyone is safe and healthy in Zion's family, but the Pelicans hope that they can get him back as soon as possible. So this leads me to my question so that we can engage with you guys in the comment section below. Who is your Rookie of the Year? Is it Zion Williamson or is it Ja Morant? Now, going in, I think everyone had Zion picked, but then he missed most of the season, and he's only played in 19 games. I'm giving it to Ja Morant here, and a lot of you guys might disagree with me. That's fine. Let me know in the comment section why you're picking Zion, but Ja has proven himself, and he's gotten his team into the playoff hunt. Now, if you're excited for basketball to be back like I am and like I know probably the entire rest of the world is, you got to get this gear from Fanatics. When you go to chatsports.com/NBA return, you can get a Ball is Back shirt for any team on the market. So, hey, maybe one day down the road, you're talking to your grandkids, you're like, I survived the NBA hiatus when it went away. But the only way you can prove it is with one of these shirts that's only going to last as long as the hiatus lasts. So you got to go get them now. chatsports.com/NBA return. Now, we broke down some news for you guys with Zion Williamson, but Bleacher Report has a brand new article that breaks down some trades for the 10 worst teams to try to get them into the playoff hunt next year. And let me tell you what, some of these trades are hot garbage. So we'll start off with these 2 different trades that send Chris Paul to 2 different teams. One of them sends him to the Cavs. The other one sends him to the New York Knicks. Now, Chris Paul this year has basically revitalized his career with the Oklahoma City Thunder. It has been absolutely incredible. But here's the thing. CP3 is still getting way overpaid. He's got 2 years, $85 million left on that deal. So there's no promises that the Thunder are going to look to keep him. This year, in this incredible run that he's had, 17.7 points per game, 7 assists and 5 boards, shooting better than 36% from 3. And really, if you've watched a lot of Thunder games like I have, Chris Paul has been one of the most clutch point guards in the entire NBA. So will the Thunder really look to just offload him this summer for basically nothing? I don't think so. So the biggest question going around with Chris Paul right now is, where do you guys think he's going to play? Do you think he'll be back in Oklahoma City next year, or do you think he's going somewhere else? Maybe, just maybe, he's going to Cleveland? ? I don't think so. This is what Bleacher Report put out there. This is not a joke. There's no typos here. Cleveland gets Chris Paul. That's good for Cleveland. But they're trading away Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, Dante Exum, Kevin Porter Jr., and Larry Nance Jr. That's 2 point guards, 2 guards that they took in back-to-back drafts to be able to kind of revamp and restart this whole reprocess of being able to get back to the NBA playoffs. Then Dante Exum, who they just traded for, Kevin Porter Jr., who was a steal in last year's draft, and Larry Nance, who is a more than capable power forward in the NBA, all for one guy, Chris Paul. So I'm going to ask you guys right now, who says no to this deal? Is it OKC or is it Cleveland? If you're typing OKC, you might want to go get your head checked out because there is no way in hell that Cleveland says yes to this deal when they're trading away 3 guys that are going to be a part of their future for 1 guy that's going to get them where? A first-round exit in the Eastern Conference? Maybe a playoff spot. Now, the Thunder, on the other hand, they're sitting pretty. Now, I get it. That's a lot of guards. Here's my biggest question mark for the Thunder. Are the Thunder really going to say yes to taking on Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, and Dante Exum when they already have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Dennis Schroeder? Well, if they say yes, their starting 5 is probably a 3-guard lineup with Darius Garland and Colin Sexton in the backcourt. Shai is kind of your hybrid small forward, and then Steven Adams in the middle. And if Danilo Gallinari returns, he's still your starting power forward. That's a lot of fun for the Thunder. But the Cavs, on the other hand, they're giving up 2 young guards who have a lot of time to grow in the NBA. Colin Sexton became really one of the most underappreciated guards this past year, putting up over 20 points per game. Not much of a playmaker, but he's a really solid defender and a pretty good three-point shooter at 38%. Meanwhile, Darius Garland, coming off that injury, was only averaging 12 points per game, but a better playmaker than Colin Sexton. So let's say this trade goes through. Let's say for some odd reason the Cavaliers say yes. Chris Paul's your new starting point guard, and your starting shooting guard is Alfonso McKinney. Your starting forward is Cedi Osman, and then you've got Andre Drummond and Kevin Love in the middle. Now, those 2 big men, that's pretty nice. And when you've got veterans like Chris Paul, Drummond, and Kevin Love, maybe, just maybe, you can push yourself into the Eastern Conference playoff picture. But is it worth it when you're giving up your entire future? Not just no, but hell no. So let me know who says no in this trade below. Maybe I'm crazy, but I don't think Cleveland's saying yes to this one anytime soon. Now, this trade that Bleacher Report put out, I'll give you a little bit of a clap, a little pat on the back there, Bleacher Report. I think this one could get done on both sides. The New York Knicks finally get a starting point guard that can start and make noise in the NBA in Chris Paul. Meanwhile, the Thunder get Frank Ntilikina, Kevin Knox, and Reggie Bullock. Now, Chris Paul to the Knicks, that makes a lot of sense. The Thunder are getting another young guard in Frank Ntilikina and Kevin Knox, who could potentially be a starting forward this year. Now, let's look at what the Knicks lineup would look like. You got CP3 and RJ Barrett as your new backcourt. Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle in the middle. And I've got Deni Avdija in there because let's remember the Knicks have a really good shot at a top 5 pick this year. And if that happens and they trade for Chris Paul, you're not going after LaMelo Ball. You're going and getting a forward. Now, when you look at their 5 prospects who I think the Knicks probably have on the top of their list, yes, LaMelo Ball is up there right now. But if they trade for CP3, there's no reason to draft LaMelo Ball. So maybe they get high enough at 1 or 2 and can get Anthony Edwards. Maybe they fall to 3. I think an Obi Toppin would make some sense. Or an Onyeka Okongwu. But, you know, they have Mitchell Robinson. They don't need a big man. I think Deni Avdija, alongside Chris Paul and RJ Barrett, would be a lot of fun in the East next year. Now, the Thunder lineup looks a little bit different. And here's where the Thunder benefit the most here, is that SGA can run the point all he wants. And trust me, Thunder fans want that to happen. They love what Chris Paul has done this year, but it's time to hand the reins over to SGA. Let Dennis Schroeder run the 2-guard position, and then Kevin Knox can come in and be your new starting forward. You know, right now it's Lukas Dort, who is a great defensive player and provides a little bit on offense, but a guy that can really grow with this team offensively is Kevin Knox. And Frank Ntilikina off the bench, not that bad. He's a good defender. He can get it done. Reggie Bullock is kind of whatever. But I think both teams could say yes to this. Now, if I had to pick one to say no, I think the Thunder say no simply because they could get a little bit more for Chris Paul. Kevin Knox and Frank Ntilikina probably doesn't move the needle right now for them to trade Chris Paul away. They probably say, hey, we'll just keep him and keep making these runs at the playoffs. Let me know what you guys think. Which team says no in this deal? Is it the Knicks or is it the Thunder? And if you choose one, I want you to let me know why. Now, for the Oklahoma City Thunder, basketball is back. For the New York Knicks, not so much. They're waiting for the NBA draft lottery. But if you're a fan of one of the teams that's going to be in the NBA bubble, go pick up a Ball is Back shirt from Fanatics. Chatsports.com/NBA return. It's coming back at the end of July. You're probably running out of gear to wear. You want some new fresh clothes. This is where you're going to go to get them. Chatsports.com/NBA return. Go get all your gear from Fanatics. Now let's talk about one more deal here. Another one that makes me just scratch my head and ask why. Chicago Bulls trade for Rudy Gobert, but they're trading away Kobe White, who they just drafted, Wendell Carter Jr., who they just drafted, Thaddeus Young, who they just signed, and he is an older piece, and this is the part that just makes me say, Bleacher Report, who is paying you to write this article? They trade away their 2020 unprotected first-round pick. They had to specify that it's unprotected because that is a top 7 pick right now. So So you're trading away a top 7 pick, a young point guard in Kobe White, and a young big man in Wendell Carter Jr., all for Rudy Gobert, who's going to be a free agent next year anyway. Why would Chicago do this? Yes, he is probably the best defensive player in the league right now. He's a back-to-back defensive player of the year, not taking anything away from him on that end. But when you're going to be an unrestricted free agent already, and really you're older than Wendell Carter Jr. and Kobe White, it's not worth it. Now, Gobert this year, amazing numbers. 15 points per game, 14 rebounds per game, better than 69% from the field, and 2 block shots. Good for Rudy Gobert. But the Bulls are not going to trade away 2 franchise pieces in Kobe White and Wendell Carter Jr. that are really hoping to turn this franchise around for Rudy Gobert. Kobe White this year put up 13 points per game, less than 3 assists, more than 3 rebounds, and he shot the ball pretty well at 35% from 3. Now, Wendell Carter Jr., on the other hand, was a walking double-double almost, 11.3 points per game and 9 boards. Three-point percentage hasn't really come around for him yet, but he's got a good sound mechanics to where he can develop a good shot. So going forward, so for the future, like for a long time, who would you rather have on your team? Rudy Gobert, type RG in the comment section, or if you'd rather have Kobe White and Wendell Carter Jr., type CW. I'm going to be honest, I think I'd rather have Kobe White and Wendell Carter Jr. Now, neither of them are the player that Rudy Gobert is, but when you've got both of them in the lineup and they're both 19 and 20 years old, you can build around them for a lot longer than Rudy Gobert. Now, let's talk about that first-round pick that Bleacher Report just decided to hand off to the Utah Jazz for one guy. Well, Chicago has a 7.5% chance at the first pick in the NBA draft. Now, Golden State, Cleveland, and Minnesota all have a 14% chance, followed by Atlanta at 12.5%. Detroit, 10.5%, New York, 9%. So all of those odds are better than Chicago, but are you really going to give Utah a 7.5% chance at the number 1 overall pick? I don't think so, not for Rudy Gobert. Now, for the Jazz, this kind of puts you in a mode where you're still win now, but also you can build for the future around this team. Kobe White and Donovan Mitchell, that is a super fun backcourt. I mean, that's fun, fast, and athletic. And then you got Joe Ingles and Bojan Bogdanovic. Now, I know Ingles has been coming off the bench behind Bogdanovic, but you can play them at both forward positions. And then you just stick Wendell Carter Jr. in the center position. That team, like I said, I think they win now. They're making the playoffs right now, and they're going to be making the playoffs for the next 5, 6, 7 years if those are the guys you're building around. Now, Chicago, on the other hand, I'm not sure about this lineup. On paper, this looks okay. Tomas Satoransky is a good guard. I don't know if I want him starting on my playoff hopeful team. And then Zach LaVine, one of the most prolific scorers in the game right now. Otto Porter Jr. has been, well, a bust since he's been in Chicago. And then you got Gobert and Markkanen in the middle. This one just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not giving up Kobe White. I'm not giving up on Wendell Carter Jr. And I'm definitely not giving up a chance at the number 1 overall pick for Rudy Gobert. So let me know in the comment section below who says no, Utah or Chicago. And let me know if you guys think these trades were as hot garbage as I do. Put a trash can emoji in the comment section below to let Bleacher Report know they messed up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.